Research reveals that our brains can only focus on a single task for up to 25 minutes before productivity sharply declines. This phenomenon is known as the ultradian rhythm, a natural cycles of productivity and rest. Imagine your brain as a rechargeable battery that can only sustain intense focus for short periods. But that's not the strangest part. Our brains also have a unique way of dealing with distractions. When we're faced with multiple tasks or interruptions, our brains enter a state of cognitive overload. In this state, we're more prone to mistakes, decreased productivity, and even mental fatigue. But there is a way to overcome cognitive overload and stay focused for longer periods. Enter the Pomodoro Technique, a time management method that uses focused work sessions and regular breaks. This technique was first introduced by Francesco Cirillo in the 1980 and has since been widely adopted. The basic idea is to work in focused 25-minute increments, followed by a 5-minute break. But what makes this technique so effective is the way it works with our brain's natural productivity cycles. By matching our work sessions to the ultradian rhythm, we can stay focused and avoid cognitive overload. But how does it work? Let's dive deeper into the science behind the Pomodoro Technique. When we're in a state of focused work, our brains enter a state of heightened alertness and concentration. This is due to the release of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and norepinephrine, which stimulate our brain's reward system. As we work in focused increments, our brains begin to associate the task with a sense of reward and accomplishment. But what happens when we take breaks? Why do we need to rest and recharge our brains? The answer lies in the way our brains process and consolidate information during rest periods. When we're faced with a new task or challenge, our brains need time to process and integrate the information. This is known as the consolidation phase, where our brains transfer information from short-term to long-term memory. But that's not the only benefit of taking breaks. Regular rest periods can also improve our focus and productivity. In fact, studies have shown that taking regular breaks can increase our productivity by up to 30%. But what about the 2-minute rule? How does that fit into the Pomodoro Technique? The 2-minute rule is a simple yet effective way to get started on tasks that seem daunting or overwhelming. If a task can be done in less than 2 minutes, it's better to do it immediately rather than putting it off. This simple rule can help us avoid procrastination and stay focused on our tasks. But what about the Pomodoro timer itself? How does it work? The Pomodoro timer is a simple kitchen timer that helps us stay on track and focused. It's usually set to 25 minutes, and when it goes off, we take a 5-minute break. But that's not all. The Pomodoro timer can also be customized to fit our individual needs. Some people prefer to work in shorter or longer intervals, and that's perfectly fine. The key is to find a rhythm that works for us and stick to it. So how do we get started with the Pomodoro Technique? The first step is to set a clear goal or task that we want to accomplish. Next, we need to eliminate any distractions and create a conducive work environment. This might mean turning off our phones, finding a quiet space, or using noise-canceling headphones. Once we're set up, we can start our first Pomodoro session and focus on our task. But what if we get interrupted or need to take a break? The good news is that the Pomodoro Technique is flexible and can be adapted to fit our needs. We can take a break whenever we need to, and then get back to work when we're ready. The key is to stay consistent and maintain our rhythm. So how can we implement the Pomodoro Technique in our daily lives? One way is to use a Pomodoro timer app on our phones or computers. These apps can be set to remind us when it's time to take a break or switch tasks. Another way is to use a physical Pomodoro timer, such as a kitchen timer or a traditional sand timer. Some people also prefer to use a combination of both digital and physical timers. The important thing is to find a method that works for us and stick to it. So why is the Pomodoro Technique so effective? The answer lies in the way it works with our brain's natural productivity cycles. By matching our work sessions to the ultradian rhythm, we can stay focused and avoid cognitive overload. But what about the benefits of the Pomodoro Technique? Studies have shown that this technique can increase our productivity by up to 30%. It can also help us avoid procrastination, reduce stress, and improve our overall well-being. So how can we make the most of the Pomodoro technique? One way is to be consistent and stick to our rhythm. Another way is to customize the technique to fit our individual needs. We can also use the Pomodoro technique in combination with other productivity methods, such as the Getting Things Done (GTD) system. The important thing is to find a system that works for us and stick to it. So why should we care about the Pomodoro technique? The answer lies in the benefits it can bring to our productivity and overall well-being. By implementing this technique, we can stay focused, avoid procrastination, and achieve our goals. So what's the next step? The next step is to start implementing the Pomodoro technique in our daily lives. We can start by setting a clear goal or task, eliminating distractions, and creating a conducive work environment. Then, we can start our first Pomodoro session and focus on our task. Remember, the key is to stay consistent and maintain our rhythm. So how can we stay motivated and avoid burnout? One way is to take regular breaks and practice self-care. Another way is to celebrate our successes and accomplishments. We can also use the Pomodoro technique in combination with other productivity methods, such as the Getting Things Done (GTD) system. The important thing is to find a system that works for us and stick to it. So what's the final takeaway? The final takeaway is that the Pomodoro technique is a powerful tool for increasing our productivity and overall well-being. By implementing this technique, we can stay focused, avoid procrastination, and achieve our goals. So if you're looking for a simple yet effective way to boost your productivity, give the Pomodoro technique a try. Subscribe for more incredible stories like this, and let me know in the comments what fascinates you most about the Pomodoro technique. Subscribe for more incredible stories like this.